Okay, I think I'm in the green. Yana always looks so lost. Hey, you guys, how are you guys doing tonight? I'm here. I'm here. Sorry, I'm like 3 minutes late. Okay, good. Can you guys see and hear me before we get started? Am I good on the audio? Okay, perfect. Perfect. Again, um, I'm streaming late just because, for the most part, most people have nothing to do. A lot of y'all are laid off. If you're tired, go to bed. You ain't got to, stay up late with me. This is for the folks who just want to, talk for the next hour and get stuff off their chest. Please don't feel like I'm holding you or anything like that. If you're tired, go to sleep, okay? Anyways, welcome, welcome, welcome. It's been a long day. I've been busy shooting videos, editing, and everything else. So I didn't get to stream yesterday. Hey, you guys. I didn't get a chance to stream yesterday just because I was just literally exhausted. Like, this weekend was just nuts for me. And it was very emotionally draining. I talked about this on Instagram. Most people know that I'm an empath. So it's just like this whole situation has been very draining. It's been depressing. I went to Walmart to go grab some more stuff, go grab some more food items and juice and stuff. And it's like people just look like zombies. And I'm not saying zombies like in the, theatrical sense. Like, people just look like confused, had worry on their face. They just look stressed, like they don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Have you guys sensed that when you guys have been out? Hey, Moya, yes, Team Empath. It's been hard. Okay, so Glam Beauty says, I'm in Oakland, and as of Friday, I was told not to return to work. I'm a behavioral tech. I've been in a horrible mood since then. Yeah, a lot of people. Yes, people look lost. We have over 1,000 people. Welcome, 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 everybody. A lot of folks look really lost. My sister-in-law texted me today, the one I was talking about in the last stream, the one that's the dental. She works in the dental office. And, oh gosh, hold on, let me mute this phone. And she's the one that was basically telling me to tell everybody, stop getting masks because they're running out. And once they run out, they're not going to be able to work on patients. She just found out today that their whole department is going to be laid off for the next 2 months. So they cannot work anymore. For 2 months, she said they're basically being told to use their PTO or their vacation time. Once that's up, the company will help them file for unemployment. But yeah, it's hard. A lot of people are being laid off. My son's girlfriend, she works at a restaurant. Like, all the restaurant, like all the teenagers who are working restaurant jobs, waitressing jobs, they've all been laid off for the most part here. A lot of them are keeping the jobs for like the adults, because the adults have bills to pay more or less than the teenagers, so the teenagers are the first to go. My son still has his job, so he's grateful. For some reason, they keep giving him hours. I'm kind of side-eyeing that. But he's been going in every morning at like 6 o'clock. They're giving them up to 50 hours. So I told him, I said, it's a rarity because right now most people around the country are being laid off. But what he does, I guess they want to keep him. So I don't know. It's really hard. I feel really bad for everybody who's, not able to work right now. Wow. Megan says they canceled our college graduation. Angel says her dad is stuck in LA. This whole thing is scaring me. Vanessa says, love you, team. My sister works in the clinic, and someone came in on Friday and stole all the toilet paper. What is that a real thing? People are really out here stealing toilet paper from companies? I thought it was just like a meme. But I'm hearing that more and more, that people are going into like restaurants and grocery stores and they're stealing the toilet paper. Like, when did toilet paper become a hot commodity? Like, that's crazy, yo. I'm glad I stacked up. But I mean, I've been stacking up for weeks. So I don't, wow, that's sad. Yes, Chanel, it's really crazy globally. We have 2 super chats. Let me go ahead and read that. Denisha Smith says, I'm up at work and I'm with you until the end for this live. Okay, good. For all my third shifters, welcome, welcome. Thank you for the super chat, sis. Batman wait, 19744 says, I want you to know that I love your show. Keep up the good work. Do you think that there might be martial law? Thank you so much, Batman. Um, I don't want to. At this point, I'm kind of scared to say anything because it seems like everything I've been saying for the past 2 months has come to pass. Everything I've said in my last two live streams have literally come to pass. Everything from the travel ban to cities shutting down. So I don't want to like put it out there into the ether, but I do feel like there's something coming around the horizon. Now, to all my people of color, one thing I do, I watch the moves of other races, okay? And what I've noticed, I don't know if you guys have peeped this, there has been a lot of long lines, okay? Let me see if I can find this. People are racing to buy guns, okay? The coronavirus fear is causing people to buy more guns. Now, a few days ago, if you guys remember, I reported on the Asian community. They were racing to go buy guns because they feel like they're being threatened, and people are accusing them of spreading the coronavirus. But now, what I'm noticing is that a lot of white folks and a lot of other races besides Asian people are running to go buy guns. So that kind of has my tin hat tingling. Like, even if there's not martial law as of yet, it seems like a lot of people are preparing for martial law. So please be vigilant. Like I've been telling you guys through these streams, this is not to fearmonger. I don't get anything out of fearmongering. Like, it does nothing for me. I don't get anything, even though, that human part of you, it's like, yes, I'm right, I told you so. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't do anything for me, because it's such a serious situation. It's one thing if I'm like, oh, I told you, Jay-Z was going to win a Grammy. It's another thing when I'm like, okay, I told you this was going to come to pass, and now cities are shutting down. Like, I kind of feel bad now, So I don't know. I don't want to speak certain things into existence, but the way my spirit is feeling, like I've been telling you guys from day one, things are going to get worse before it gets better. So the martial law thing, if people don't listen, if people keep being defiant, at this point they're even threatening to arrest New York City restaurant owners who are refusing to shut down and get rid of their chairs, because nobody's supposed to be serving anybody in restaurants. That's been across the nation as of, I think, like 24 hours ago. You can go through drive-thrus. They can bring you the food, but you are not allowed to congregate in restaurants anymore. And a lot of New York City, I don't know if my stream is freezing because it's acting funny. Can y'all still see me and hear me? Lord, we're talking about some serious shit. Here comes YouTube wilding. But if people don't listen, if people keep taking this as a joke, there were long lines yesterday at the strip club. People were thinking that this was Magic City. The mayor of Atlanta came out and said, no, that was not Magic City. That was a strip club in Miami. And all you saw was lines of black people lining up to go to the strip club. Like, again, it's not to fearmonger, but people don't realize how serious this is. And y'all can say, I have the Bible, I sleep with the Bible underneath my pillow and God is my armor. And, Jesus Christ saves. Y'all can write all that in the comment section. But at the end of the day, we have to use common sense. This illness is no joke. And we've been saying this from day one. Me and my tea sipper overseas, we've been putting out videos, putting out information, letting you guys know that this is unprecedented, okay? Initially, they thought that a person had to be sick. You had to be showing symptoms. But now what they're learning is that you can be asymptomatic. Look at Idris Elba, just as fit and handsome. He said that he just happened to be next to somebody with corona. Didn't shake his hand, didn't hug him. And so he found out that person had coronavirus. So something told him to go get tested. Now he has it. So again, this is something where literally you can catch it just from talking to somebody. Because when we talk, aerosols come out of our mouths, so you can literally, catch it that easily. We told you guys 2 months ago that one of the things that made it also deadly is the fact that it can be contained in the digestive system. So if people are not washing their hands and they're not being cleansly, Adrian Bailon, and they're preparing food, if you have coronavirus in your urine or stool and you touch food, people can catch it that way too. So this is all stuff that we've been saying for months. So when I see people lined up to go to the strip club, it's like, is it, I mean, good God, y'all need to see ass and titties that bad that you're willing to risk your life and then possibly pick something up and take it home to your children or to your elderly parents? Like, we have to start using common sense, people. Oh my gosh, we got like 2,700 people in here. I'm sorry if I'm missing some of your super chats. I'm gonna go ahead and try and read them. We got a lot coming in. Um, let's see here. Little Eyed says, "Hey T, I'm here in Denver, Colorado. Our governor just shut down all the bars and restaurants, theaters till May 11th. I'm headed UPS right now." Wow. Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of places are shutting down. Anywhere where people can congregate in public, everything is shutting down. Love Miss Rachel says, "Love you T, you're the realest on YouTube." Thank you so much, and thank you for this super chat. I truly appreciate it, you guys. All of these videos that I'm doing, all these live streams, they're all demonetized. YouTube is not approving anything about coronavirus. Even if I title it different, their algorithm picks up words and stuff. So everything is demonetized. So I definitely appreciate you guys sending super chats and cash apps and stuff like that. It means a lot to me. Jade Grant says, "Hi T, I'm excited to catch your live for the first time. Among the craziness, have you heard about the prison break in Brazil just now, holding COs hostage? No." Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for joining us. I have not heard about that yet. If that's breaking news, I'll look into it. But yeah, I'm sure. I know somebody's parent DM'd me, and they're really worried about their son. I think they live in Florida. I might be wrong, but she said she's very concerned for her son because her son is in prison. And so she was like, "T, what are they going to do with the prisoners?" Because he's calling home asking her, because he's like, we're hearing about this coronavirus. Anytime, one of the CEOs cough, we're giving them the side eye. Like, people are literally ready to riot because they're stuck in these jail cells. And they don't know if these guards from the outside could be potentially bringing something into them. So that's a whole nother can of worms. And I told her, honestly, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the prison system. I know for now they're mainly trying to worry about the people who are free and who are out here. So usually when things like this happen, prisoners are the least of people's concerns, unfortunately. Yes, they are people, and yes, I feel bad, but again, they had to get everything out here in order before they can worry about the prisoners. If you guys remember during Katrina, the most they did was take the prisoners and the people out of jail in New Orleans and move them to higher ground. But, that was about it. So I don't know what's going to happen to the people who are locked up currently. So we'll keep them in mind as well. CJ, the C Johnson 93 says, "I've been following since your first video. Thank you for the lives. They are helping me cope with all of this. All of this is starting to get me scared." Oh, wow. Thank you so much for this super chat. And, and that's why I've been doing more live streams, because y'all know I'm more of like a recluse. I'm not into this, I usually live stream when I can randomly. I'm an editor. I like editing videos and keeping it moving. But one thing I can say is that doing these live streams these past few days has helped me cope as well. And it's helped me to be able to talk to people, to be able to find out information. Because there's things that you guys know in the chat that I'm not aware of. And there's things that I'm telling you guys that you guys aren't aware of. So it's a good way for us to swap information. It's a good way for us to connect with like-minded people and to relieve the stress and to relieve the worry and to relieve the things that we're thinking that maybe we're too scared to talk to our husband. Maybe we're too scared to speak to our children, because there's certain things I don't even want to talk to my kids about. So I'm more comfortable just talking on the live stream. They don't really watch my lives. I'm not that, popular in this household, but, or talking to people in the DM. So, I'm definitely going to continue trying to do more of these lives, but, I also had to watch my mental health because, stuff like this really drains me emotionally as well. So, but I'm glad that I have a, place for people to come and talk. TY Soulfly says, "Hey T, I've watched you for 3 years. Thank you for teaching me about integrity. I see you looking good today." Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I'm glad that I could teach you about that. Let's see here. We have a lot of comments. Let's see here. Santa Clarita just confirmed 2 additional deaths. Let's see. Why are y'all pregnant in this economy? Why are you mad about the people being pregnant? I just had a little nephew be born, and then one of my other hell, I done had like 4 kids be born in the past month. My nephew by marriage, he just had a little boy. My niece, by marriage, she just had a little girl. My brother just had a little boy. My homeboy just had a little boy in January, and then my other niece, she posts on Facebook that she's pregnant. So you know, yeah, I mean, you can't stop people from fucking. It's probably gonna be a lot more pregnancies, honey, with people being stuck in the house. Watch, by the time the summer come, everybody gonna be knocked up. I ain't even got nobody. I'm gonna be knocked up. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it happens. Let's just hope that people are taking precautions and being safe, and that's what I'm saying. When folks are lining up to go, to the strip club, they may have a pregnant fiance at home, or a pregnant niece or a pregnant cousin. Like, just people be mindful, because when you're pregnant, you're more susceptible to things. Bailey Ambergris, sorry if I pronounced it wrong. She says, "Hey T, I'm a college senior about to defend my honors thesis. Afraid my graduation will be canceled." I'm sorry to hear that. A lot of people in college right now are going through it. My son just came into my room about an hour ago. His college has literally canceled the rest of the year, the rest of the semester. He's going to have to take all his classes online. His best friend goes to the U of M. They shut down the U, and his best friend is now back home with his parents. So his best friend is like really hot. He's mad. Because, this is like their time to be like independent and live on the dorm. And so to go from being on a dorm to being back under the same roof as mom and dad, he's not feeling it. But, safety first. Safety first. Let's see here. Dominicana Marita says, "I'm scared for us nursing professionals." Me too. And I'm going to play you guys a video about how, we got to keep these doctors and nurses in prayers, because especially in Italy, they're dealing with the overwhelming healthcare system right now. They're dealing with a lot of death, and these nurses and doctors, they're under an immense pressure. At this point in time in Italy, they're literally having to choose who lives and who dies. And if you're over the age of 80, they've already made an announcement that in Italy, if you catch corona and you're over the age of 80, there's really nothing they can do for you. They're just going to, basically let you die. Because right now, there's so many people affected and sick that all the resources are going towards the young and towards people who have a better chance of fighting. So I feel so bad for a lot of the doctors and nurses and the decisions that they're having to make. Because when you get into that field of nursing and being a doctor, you get in there to help people. And when you're not able to help somebody and you have to watch them pass away, that takes such a toll on nurses. That takes such a toll on their mental health. So definitely keep your head up and, just stay strong and stay as safe as possible. Tanya Brenson says, "Chinese biowarfare, Harvard professor arrested for biotransport by the FBI." I heard about that last month. I didn't hit on it, but I did hear about that. Like I said, there's a lot of evil people in this world, and this disease, this whole situation definitely screams to me that there's more going on than meets the eye. It's bigger than just a virus. Just the way that the whole world is reacting, the way that the whole world is affected. Thank you, Tierra White, for the $9.99. I appreciate it. Let's see here. We have so many comments. Gregory White says, "Hi, I'm one of your longtime. I live in the DMV and I'm a rideshare delivery. I have no problem staying inside, but my job is dependent on all the restaurants being open. How are we going to pay our bills?" And that's the part that's frustrating, because for a lot of people, I know like in the state of Minnesota, the governor announced here that they are going to help people. They're going to give money to people who are laid off because of the coronavirus. So if your job says you can't work, you're in the restaurant business, you're being laid off, they're supposed to give people money to help supplement their income. How much? I have no idea. But Minnesota is working on something like that. Unfortunately, other cities are not as generous as Minnesota, because I know I had some tea sippers in New York, and they're like, New York is not going to do shit for them. And they're basically telling folks, everything shut down, you figure it out. And unfortunately, in bigger cities, it tends to be like that, where literally you have to fend for yourself. And one thing about us as Americans that we can be totally honest about, most people do not have enough income or savings to last them upwards of 6 months. Most people are living paycheck to paycheck. So this is going to affect a lot of people. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I don't have any answers right now. I'm really sorry that you're going through that, but I don't have any answers. But trust me, it's a lot of people going through this right now, where a lot of people are like, I can physically work, I feel fine, but with this pandemic going on, I can't go to work, but my rent is still due. My car note is still due. My tuition is still due. What am I supposed to do? And this is where the government has to come into play, because there's nothing I can do. This is where Trump has to put an executive order and send, every working American, $1,000 or something like that per household. I don't know. It's a really horrible situation. It really is. But thank you for the comment. I appreciate it. Miss Kim says, let's talk about the shelters in place. A lot of cities are struggling with that. And one thing I totally forgot, one of my one of my followers on Instagram brought it to my attention. They were at Walmart and people were running in there crazy, trying to grab groceries and things. And they were homeless. There was a homeless man in there and he was just confused. He's like, what's going on? Like, he could just sense the panic. He's like, people are in here running around crazy. What's going on? And so she stopped to explain to him, because he had no idea. He had no idea about the coronavirus. He had no idea it was a pandemic. He had no idea everything was shutting down. And, we forget about those people in society. We forget about the homeless people. We forget about the people in prisons. So at this point, what are they going to do? We could and especially when you're talking about cities like San Francisco, where the homeless population is insane. It's one of the biggest in the country. And a lot of those homeless people in San Francisco are not homeless by choice. They're literally homeless because they can't afford the rent there anymore. And so it's cheaper to live in their cars. So what are we going to do for those people? Are there shelters set up? These are all questions, that we have to ask. So that was a very, very good point, Kim. Thank you. Somebody asked me how my sales are. Right now at this point in time, it's like everything's at a standstill. So it just kind of sucks, because it's like I just dropped my skin and hair care line and everything's at a standstill. Like, even once this first batch sells out, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get any more bottles. And my company, my manufacturing company that made the products, right now, for the most part, they're starting to shut down. Like, everyone is shutting down. So it's just like everything is just going to be at a standstill. So, that's just life. That's just life. Kiera, thank you for the $2. Let's see here. We have more super chats. Candace Davis says, love you. Love your content. Love your advice. Stay safe. Thank you so much, sis. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate it. Potato Vampire Taco. That's such a funny name. Says, in Houston, things are happening slowly. Restaurants were packed today, but indoor eating is done for the next 2 weeks. I work in a daycare. I have no work. Wow. I'm sorry to hear that. A lot of jobs are shutting down. Some people are saying 2 weeks. Other jobs are shutting down for 2 months. Some indefinitely. Let's see here. Tira J. Monique says, hi, team. My mom works at the hospital in Memphis, and Friday they tested 6 people, some workers who were positive, but would not tell the other workers who. Wow. And that's the scary part with this illness, is, again, people who are sympathetic, whatever. I can't even say the word. I'm so tired. Who are why can't I say the word? I said it earlier. Like, basically, people who are not showing any signs of being sick, okay, they're contagious. They're still able to, infect people, because it stays in your system for 14 days. For them to do a test and not tell the other workers who's infected. Now, I understand HIPAA laws, but at some point in time, do we really need to uphold HIPAA laws when you're talking about people possibly infecting other people in a hospital environment? And for those people who are infected, have they told them to go home? Are they, telling them to quarantine? What is being done? Because they shouldn't just be allowed to just sit there and work. You know what I'm saying? So that's just really, that's crazy. I think they should let people know, not to shame them, not to make them feel bad. It's not their fault, but just so people are aware, like, okay, well, damn, if you had lunch with, Kiki, because she was trending today, because they said Kiki was, the main coffer at Home Depot. I don't know if y'all seen that trending topic. They had a board at Home Depot, and they were basically counting how many times each employee, coughed. And a lady named Kiki had the most coughs. And then it was like a guy named Dan. It was just so fun. It was trending all over social media. But basically, imagine if somebody went out to eat with Kiki. They would want to know if Kiki has a virus, because then again, they could, being that the virus, you can catch it so easy, they could bring that back home to their families. So I think that's really unfortunate they're not sharing that information with your mother and her coworkers. Kitty Cat Love One says, in Maryland, our mayor made it where we can't get evicted or have our utilities cut off. That's good. That's a great start. And more of that needs to be implemented around the country, because I don't think anybody should be evicted or, have their utilities cut off when they cannot work. It's not like they're purposely choosing to be a bum and not pay the landlord. No, it's cause and effect. I can't go to work, meaning I'm not getting a paycheck, meaning I can't pay you. So that's a really good start. I'm glad that your city is doing that. Hopefully other cities will follow suit as well. Judah Rain says, this is not from human to human. This is not from human to human. The thing, this bug is being sprayed in the air. Y'all can trust those Dems all you want, but they evil and them is beyond our comprehension. Thank you, Judah Rain. I appreciate your comment. I mean, I've seen pictures that people have sent me on Facebook of down in New Orleans, actually in Louisiana. Y'all might want to pay attention, but they're spraying something in the air and it's yellow. And then there's like a train, and on the back of the train, it had COVID-19. So people are saying, maybe they're spraying it in the air. So I'm thinking that's what your super chat is implying to that viral picture that's going viral all over Facebook. But again, I don't really want to speak on certain conspiracies because for all we know, that train could be photoshopped. For all we know, those pictures could be photoshopped. You just never know. So let's see here. Shaquita Jenkins says, love your channel. Been a fan for years. You speak the truth. I'm a military member stationed in San Diego, and I'm even worried because the virus has reached our base. Wow. Now, if you remember this weekend, I had posted something on my Instagram, and the military, I'm going to show you guys a picture real quick. So the military is basically, the Pentagon gave the military orders where they banned domestic travel for troops and families as the coronavirus spreads, okay? So you're basically saying that on your base, the virus has reached. Now, like I told people on Instagram, if the military and the Pentagon is basically saying that military officials and their families are not to fly domestically, the public better wake up. The military knows far more than what we know. So if they're pulling their troops out of public, out of domestic flights, you really shouldn't be flying anywhere if you can help it. Because again, like we talked about in the last live stream, a lot of people tend to get sick in airports because there's not fresh air going in and out of airports. There's not doors opening and windows opening. You might get some type of air coming in on the first floor as you're leaving the airport. But for the most part, where you're going in to go, check in and turn in your tickets and stuff like that, there's no ventilation like that there. So it's really scary. It's really scary. And that's why I'm paying attention to everything. So good luck. And thank you for your service. Thank you. Briasha. Oh, hold on. Brishana Scott. She says, hey, I commented on your Instagram about being an active duty Army, showing symptoms are travel for work due to test shortage. I was told to quarantine in place. The government really mishandled this. Wow. Yeah, they did. And you know what's really frustrating is that what I'm finding out now the doctor, the one that ended up dying that I spoke about, he came out in in December and was, kind of the whistleblower. But now there's information coming out that a lot of governments, including America, knew about the virus and the seriousness of it as early as November. They knew about this, but they said nothing. Okay? So it's just really scary that people who are actually showing symptoms. It's one thing if you feel fine, but you have people like Brashana who are actually showing symptoms and they're not even able to get a test. And that's because they definitely just mishandled this. And somebody even pointed out in my comment section, and I think the video I did today about Waka Flocka, they were saying that at that point, China was willing to send the U.S., X amount of test kits. And the U.S. said no. They didn't think it was going to be a big problem here. So they turned those test kits down. And now there's a shortage of test kits. But I was saying this in the last live stream, don't be so comfortable with the numbers that's being reported. Because if there's not enough test kits, there's no accuracy. If you have asymptomatic people who feel fine, who just want to take a test on the whim because they have money and because they're celebrities, because think about it, all the people who have been found out to have the virus who didn't show any symptoms were celebrities. So they're able to have access to the test. Like the news was saying, how the hell did the Utah Jazz, how were they able to get 80 tests within 24 hours? Meanwhile, you have people who've been in the hospital for days sick and don't have access to a test. So, this is where it's just a slippery slope. They're literally picking who lives and who dies, who gets to test and who gets to not test. And it's sad. It's really sad. Symphony Melody says, "Hi T, I've been a fan since 2016. I love your content. I have heard through the Jamaican grapevine that there has been that there has been 8 cases of coronavirus, and they know who it is from pictures and everything." So are you saying in Jamaica, or are you saying here in the States that there's 8 total? Because I'm hearing that it's starting to take hold in Jamaica as well. So again, this is a global issue, and I'm talking to and I'm hearing from a lot of people globally, and every corner of the earth for the most part is being affected. So don't listen to them lies where they're saying, like, in the Caribbeans, black people can't catch it, and in Africa, black people can't catch it. There are cases now in Nigeria. There are cases in South Africa, and I believe a lot of those cases that are now hitting West Africa and South Africa came from the Italians. Because you had a lot of people flying from China and taking pit stops in Italy and then coming to Africa. I know the one main guy was from Italy, and they were trying to, take care of him in Nigeria. And now the Nigerians are popping up with coronavirus. So it's really sad. It's really sad. Shani J, thank you so much for the $50 super chat. I really appreciate it. She says, "Love you, T. Been watching you for 5 years now. You remind me of my mom. Just had to show love." Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thanks for coming through. Malcolm Chess says, "Hey T, super fan here. What do you think of a monthly conspiracy video?" Grab some water. To be honest with you, I try not to do too many conspiracy videos. I don't want my channel taking a risk. Because let's keep it real. Right now, there's barely any jobs out here if something happens. I can't afford to lose my channel, honey. This is my income right now because everything else has slowed down. All the other sources of income has slowed down. So I can't do monthly conspiracy videos, but I can talk about conspiracies on Instagram. That's usually why I talk about a lot of my conspiracy stuff is on Instagram. They're always threatening to kick me off, I get notices literally every other day. They pull my post all the time. But, I talk to people in the DMs and stuff like that. But I just don't really want to bring that here to YouTube just because YouTube has really cleaned up house. They've gotten rid of a lot of truther channels, demonetize truther channels and stuff like that. So I don't want to risk it. So I'm going to stick to what's safe, which is celebrity news and gossip. But I will definitely hit on, real world issues like the coronavirus, Even though they don't like for us to talk about this and they demonetize these videos, I feel like that's more important. At the end of the day, conspiracies are just that. They're conspiracies. We can't say if we're, for 100% certain if they're true or not. So I don't want to really spend a lot of time, dedicating to conspiracies. I'd rather spend my time, speaking about stuff that's really happening and really affecting people now. So I hope you understand. But yes, we can hit up conspiracies on Instagram with no problem. Let's see here. Kiera Johnson says, has anyone heard of any coronaviruses in Jamaica? I'm hearing that there's some. PHP. Oh, sorry. That's Philippine money, I think. B Weezy 991 sends 249 in Philippine money. And he says, hi T here in Melania. Oh, Manila. I'm sorry, I said Melania. Honey, I'm tired. Here in Manila, we are stuck at home. Everyone is on lockdown. No work, school, transportation. But we got to do what we got to do. Love you. Stay safe. Thank you so much for the super chat. And you stay safe as well. And like I've been saying to everyone here in the States, everything that's going on in Italy and in other countries to help prevent the spread of this virus, it's going to eventually trickle down here. And you guys are seeing that. You guys are seeing entire American cities shutting down. It started today with San Francisco. Other cities have implemented curfews where you have to be in your home by 6 p.m. It's only going to spread from there. And nobody's exempt from this. Celebrities are not exempt. Regular people are not exempt. So it's only going to get worse. At this point, the next step is literally every city in America is going to be shut down. You will only be allowed to leave your home for the necessities like medication and food. If that. So that's going to be the next step. And I know a lot of people, a lot of my Italian subscribers that I've talked to in the DMs, they're literally going stir crazy because they're dealing with all this death. And, in the papers, there's all these obituaries. Let me show y'all this. This is the Italian newspaper. Do you guys see all of these pictures? This is what we posted on lovelyt.com. If you're not on my website, make sure you sign up for a newsletter because we post information all the time. But in Italy, all of these pictures, all of these names are people who have died. It's that bad in Italy. There has been over 368 corona deaths in the last 24 hours. Over 1,800 people killed so far in Italy. This is the worst hit country. This is the worst hit country after China. So right now in Italy, they're saying there's a lot of cases. It's a lot of stuff going on. So that's why I've been saying pay close attention to Italy. Because everything that they're doing to try and prevent this, America's going to try and follow suit. I remember my tea sipper, the one that I had to disguise her voice. She said back in December that there were rough estimates that there were 90,000 people in China alone that were affected. 90,000. And remember, close to 1 million bounced. When stuff started hitting the fan, those people left Wuhan. They left Shanghai. Remember, I was showing you guys videos of those cities looking like ghost towns? They left. So that's how the virus spread. Because it's not like back in like the 1800s. With travel, we're more susceptible to things. Like back in the day, like think about during the bubonic plague in England. That's why all the people in England died and everybody else was safe because there was not a lot of travel. I mean, they had ships and shit, but it took you months to get from place to, place. Nowadays, you can get from point A to point B in less than 48 hours. So imagine how many people, jumped on trains and took planes and flew here and flew there. And this is why we have a global pandemic. Let's see here. Someone is saying fake news, but T does her research. If you feel like anything I'm saying is fake news, you shouldn't even be in the chat. Bye. It's that simple. Let's see here. Nina Gonzalez says, "Hey T, I live in Seattle. I was not only freaked out 2 weeks ago, but weeks ago listening to your podcast. My East Coast fam is now getting freaked out. Where are the tests?" Yes, a lot of people got very, very scared, listening to the podcast. But like I said, for me, her safety was number one, so I had to disguise her voice. But everything that we were talking about 2 months ago, it's scary how much has come to pass. It really is. Y'all can go back and listen. She said in that podcast, this virus is unprecedented. I've never seen anything like this. This ain't no joke. And like I told her, I talked to her recently and I told her, I said, I really feel like me and you have switched places. It went from me trying to like calm her down and, be like, it's going to be okay. This too shall pass, to now the roles are reversed, because I was on the outside looking in and I'm watching everything that's going on in Wuhan and in China. And now it's like me hitting her up and I'm stressed and depressed and like, oh my God, this is what's going on now. This is what's going on in LA. And this is what's happening now in New York. Did you hear about this in Chicago? So now it's like I'm giving her updates on what's going on here in America. Whereas 2 months ago, she was updating me on everything going on in China. So yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts out here. Black Barbie 817, I love that name, says, thanks for the updates. You're definitely greatly appreciated. Showing love from Fort Worth, Texas. Thank you so much. I appreciate the super chat, sis. Thanks for coming through. Aaliyah Malcolm says, T, there are 15 confirmed cases of the virus in Jamaica, 4 in Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you so much, Aaliyah. Malcolm, for the super chat, and thank you for posting the information here in the chat, because a lot of people are asking. Again, that's why I was so disappointed when I was hearing black people spew the nonsense about how black people cannot get the coronavirus. Nobody is exempt from getting this virus. So now we're seeing people on the islands getting it as well. So be safe out there, and thank you for the information. Let's see here. Ardoc. Hey, thank you for the super chat. Ardoc says, T, I pray that during this pandemic, there are little to no natural disasters. Oh, Lord, that's the last thing we need, honey. He says, I feel for the first responders and the utility workers who have to go into homes to help transport people or turn on power. Me too. I heard somebody hit me up today in the DMs, and I want to say they were in Florida. I swear, like, Florida's my go-to state. Maybe they were in Arkansas. Who knows? But they said that their lights were off in their city. Has anybody experienced this? Please put that information in the chat. Are you guys experiencing any power loss? Because that made me nervous. Because I know the kids were asking me, like, why are you buying, cases of water? We have, water that comes out the refrigerator. And I told them, I said, children of the microwave generation, they just don't get it. They're so used to like instant gratification. Push a button, water comes out, push this, ice comes out. They don't even know what an ice tray is, right? So I was explaining to them, if the power goes out, water will not come out of there because the refrigerator is powered on. So we have to have bottled waters. So that way, in case the power goes out, we have, waters in the house. So is anybody experiencing power outages in their city? Ghana has 6 people who are positive with corona. Wow. Okay, yes, power outage in Oklahoma. Sandwich says, yes, our lights keep flickering. I live in Florida, no power loss. Okay, that's good. Like I said, I can't remember what city she was in. Okay. In Antochow, I don't even know how you pronounce that. Antoca, California. Y'all are having power loss. Okay, not in Connecticut. Yes, in Houston, Texas. Okay. Miami Beach flickered. None in Kansas. Y'all are steadily writing none. I said if you have power loss, not none. I ain't no power loss in my house in Missouri. Only the people who are suffering power loss. You guys, y'all are just now naming y'all states. This isn't a state debate. What cities have lost power? If you haven't, you shouldn't be writing anything. Outage in Los Angeles. Okay, great. Dallas, here we go. Dallas, Texas, we have power. I ain't fooling with y'all. I'm literally asking a simple question and people are like, I have power in Georgia. That's not what I asked. What the heck? Decatur, lights are flickering. Pine Bluff, Arkansas. I feel like the internet is losing power here. That sucks. Y'all, honey, if they was to cut off the internet, I really believe that would be the end of that would be social collapse. If the internet just collapsed and we had no access to Instagram or TikTok, a lot of y'all wouldn't know what the hell to damn do. Let's keep that real. Let's see here. Baby Lane Ross, no more weaves and lace front wigs. Shut your punk ass up. Somebody boot his ass out the chat. We're talking about some real shit and your ass is worried about some damn wigs and lace fronts. That's that effeminate ass shit that a lot of these dudes be on. Boot his ass out the chat room, Dark Princess. You need to go take that mess over to somewhere else. Can't stand when people trying to divert the energy. There's power outage in Washington County. Okay. They can't cut off the electricity in your city. That's good. Earthquakes and power loss in Chicago. I didn't know Chicago had an earthquake. I didn't hear about that. Y'all laughing because I said shut your punk ass up. Y'all now will flip back and forth, honey. I can go from spitting knowledge to cussing somebody out quick. You guys to go, bro. We talking about real shit. We want, you know what I'm saying, like-minded people who are here to have real discussions. We don't need no trolls, no grown-ass men worried about the wrong thing. Because while you're worried about hair weaves, make sure your punk ass don't have the corona, okay? How about that? I don't know. Somebody just said a damn earthquake in Chicago. So somebody's in there putting in fake news. Everybody else in Chicago is saying that there wasn't no earthquake. So I'm giving that person the side eye. Because there goes some more folks from Chicago and they're calling you out. Finish him. Sebesti says 35 cases in Columbia. Is that Columbia, South Carolina or Columbia, the country? I would like to know. AZ, no power, shutdowns, or disconnections until further notice. Good. Roshonda says we had a power outage from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. in Tampa. Okay. Wow. Okay. So let me go ahead and read this super chat. Kendrick Coca says, hey T, pray for my family and I. I live in a county in Maryland. Our first case was reported and I'm feeling achy muscles. I've heard globally that we are all basically going to be exposed at some point. I can definitely see that happening. And I'm sorry, and I hope you start feeling better. I hope it's nothing serious. Hopefully you'll be able to get tested. Because it's a lot of people like really feeling really sick. Maria Vasquez, thank you so much for the $49.99. I appreciate it. She says, I live for your videos. I watch you all the time, even when I'm at work. May God bless you and your family. Always love you. I love you too, and thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Let's see here. Tiffany Denise says, I appreciate you keeping us informed. I'm in Alabama, and people are panicking and buying everything. I think they're going to shut down the city soon. Restaurants are starting to shut down their dining rooms. It's making me really nervous. Thank you for the $49.99 as well. I really appreciate it. I truly believe that that is the next step. I really do. I believe that that's the next step because they have to get a hold of this. It's like I said, it's going to get worse before it gets better. A lot of people are showing signs and you have people who are not showing signs and they're coming up positive. So I think they're going to start shutting down a lot of major cities. I'm going to read these last few super chats and I want to play these videos for you guys that I've compiled. Sadie the Science Beauty sent $10 and she says, hello T, I'm a nurse. Please pray for the health and city workers trying to stay ahead of all of this. I'm predicting a global curfew. What do you think? I agree 100%. I definitely agree with that. They're going to start shutting a lot of stuff down. If stuff has not already shut down in your city, I would advise you, if there's still, oh my God, I talked to my homeboy today. He called me. I'm not even going to like blast you, but he called me like, T, so what do you think is going to happen now? I said, I've been telling you this for the past 2 months. I said, did you get your water? No. What are you going to eat? Oh, well, I'll try to go to the restaurant and they're shutting down. Like, he's so used to eating out every day. I said, you need to go and get the last few, whatever is left in the grocery store, because in a minute, and he lives in Atlanta. That's the part that's crazy. Like, you're in a major city. You're in Atlanta. Like, go get the necessities now while you still can, because in a minute, you're not going to be able to get anything. So you guys who are waiting to the last minute, who don't want to deal with the crowds, I understand that. I have friends in California and they are livid right now. They're very upset because the lines are crazy. They've literally spent all day in lines just trying to get groceries. But you're going to need to do this because, again, once they shut stuff down, you'll be lucky if you can go to your neighbor. But the way society is right now, nobody's trying to be too neighborly because we don't know if you might have the virus. And I don't want you in my house getting me and mine sick. So you have to, take precautions to take care of yourself. So yes, we're definitely going to keep the healthcare people in prayer. Patrice Lovely says, hey, love, this is my first chat with you. Stay in tune with your spirit. God is definitely using you in this end times. And remember, God will provide, always has, and always will. Thank you so much for the super chat. That means a lot to me. Amen. And I definitely believe that. Let's see here. Jalissa on a budget says, as a fellow empath myself, I'm seriously going through it. I was out getting simple things for dinner here in Hawaii, and an elderly lady was in the aisle in tears. I'm tired. Yeah. It's been spiritually and emotionally draining. When I tell you, and especially as empathetic people, sometimes you have to just detox. Like, it got so bad for me Sunday because I was initially going to live stream, but I was drained. Like, I literally had to, like, if you guys, I don't know if you know, but like for at least 4 hours, I didn't post anything. That's because I took a nap. Like, I literally just had to go to sleep. I was so drained. There were people in my DMs crying and worried. And, a lot of times we might text, but I'm more comfortable with the voice chats. I've kind of gotten everybody kind of used to like voice chatting me because it's just a bit more personal, and just to hear the fear in people's voices and people crying, and, even talking to like some of my celebrity friends, that made me kind of emotional because it just really let me know that celebrity aside, money aside, fame aside, we're all just human. And I think a lot of them are looking at their humanity more, their mortality more, and they're worried for their families and their loved ones. It's like, as crazy as this situation is, it's making people wake up and realize at the end of the day, the fame, the money, none of that stuff really matters. Your health is wealth, and that's what's the most important. So I've had a really draining few days. So when you need to unwind and unplug, do that. Don't ever let somebody make you feel like you're selfish or you're wrong for doing so. We all need to like just kind of recharge our batteries. And especially being that social media can be so draining, and it's a multitude of emotions. 1 minute you're seeing a post and you're literally crying because you're just like freaking out. Then the next minute it's like a funny meme and you're laughing. Like, the emotions have just been crazy on my Instagram feed personally. So I can only imagine what y'all's feed look like. Just look at my Instagram page. It's all over the place. A lot of times I'm posting news and facts, and then every now and then I'll just, throw in a meme because it's like I just need that break from the monotony. You know what I'm saying? I just need to laugh real quick. And, like, sometimes you have to laugh to keep from crying. Kira Brown says, my aunties and auntie live in Atlanta, and they caught the coronavirus. The virus is more contagious than we think. Please, everybody, stay safe. I'm so sorry to hear that, but you're right. It's very, very contagious. That's why I was so disappointed when I seen, so many of our people in line to go to the strip club. And I don't know if it's because of these stupid rumors from these mush mouths and these celebrities talking about black people can't catch corona, so black folks think it's all good, but it's not. Catching it is one thing. You better pray that your body can fight it off. Because a lot of people in Italy have caught it, and we're talking about young people, healthy people, and they're dying. So it's very, very serious. Brown Eyes Blue 12 says, "Hey T, remember when you made a video about Walmart and martial law?" Yeah, that was years ago when we were talking about like the FEMA death camps and how a lot of the Walmarts will be transformed into FEMA camps. Yep, I definitely remember that. Thank you for the super chat. That's all I'm going to say about that. I don't want to even go there and open up that can of worms. We have close to 5,000 people in here. Wow. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Let me read this last super chat. Kelly Arango says, "Speak the truth, beautiful." Thank you so much. I definitely will continue to do so. I've been on here for an hour. I'll stay a little bit longer because I want to play you guys these videos. So let's go ahead and get to these here. If you guys remember, I've been telling you guys that eventually the plan is to cancel domestic travel. I've been saying this for the past few days. The military's already pulling military families from, traveling domestically. But Trump has recently spoken out on this. And he's seriously contemplating this. And I believe the way this virus is spreading, we cannot continue to put our airline stewardesses and stewards and pilots and the people who go and clean the planes, we can't keep putting them at risk. It's not fair to them. So I believe that soon they will cancel domestic flights. I'm going to go ahead and play you guys this video. Go ahead and watch this real quick. Let me make sure this is muted. Let me know if you guys can't hear it.
Other travel restrictions, perhaps domestically, yes, in that regard. Can you describe what type of
specifically from certain areas? Yes, we are. And we're working with the states, and we are considering other restrictions, yes.
Reuters is reporting that you're going to extend the European travel ban to the UK and Ireland on Monday. Is that accurate?
We're looking at it very seriously, yeah, because they've had a little bit of activity, unfortunately. So we're going to be looking at that. We are actually already have looked at it, and that is going to be announced.
Okay, great. So you guys were able to hear that? Perfect. So, you guys see what Donald Trump is saying? He's already, really seriously thinking about it. And I honestly, and I will continue to say this, they should have not brought anybody in once they found out that, the virus was a real thing. They should have stopped travel internationally at that point. But again, because everybody wants to, kiss, the CCP's butt, and they don't want to look, xenophobic, it was like, oh no, we're America, we'll handle it. Come on through, everybody from Wuhan. We'll just, hit you with a thermometer in your forehead. So it's a mess right now. Miss Trish says, "Hey T, this is all I have, but I work at a grocery store and they are price gouging." Don't worry about that. Thank you so much for the super chat. I'm seeing it all over. And we talked about that selfish man. He should be ashamed of himself. He was on basically the local news, and he was caught. Him and his brother, they had a harebrained scheme to basically buy, thousands of hand sanitizer bottles and hand sanitizer wipes in hopes of basically selling them on Amazon. And he was selling these hand sanitizers. They usually go for about $2 for upwards of $70 on Amazon and eBay. And Amazon and eBay shut his ass down. So like I always say, sometimes you see the ugliness in people. Unfortunately, during times like this, it's really sad. I want to see if I can try and find the video here. It's a really important video. I'm gonna see if I can find it real quick so you guys can see it. This dude is like a straight up narcissist. Give me just a second here. I'm gonna try and download it. Cause I want to show you guys just how horrible people can be in a time of crisis. Instead of him thinking about his neighbor and trying to do the right thing, him and his punk ass brother were trying to hustle the community. And right now they're looking at pressing charges. So it's that serious. You know, they're not playing with people who are doing things like this. So if they're price gouging at your grocery store, they can definitely get in trouble for that. I saw a lot of that during Katrina with the gas and, you know, all types of stuff. It's really sad. So just download it. So give me a second to just set this up here real quick.
That is dominating national headlines after the New York Times wrote about Matt Colvin stockpiling goods amid the corona.
But I want you guys to see this.
That is dominating national headlines after the New York Times wrote about Matt Colvin stockpiling goods amid the coronavirus outbreak. Channel 3's Hunter Hoagland talked to Matt, who bought nearly 18,000 bottles of hand sanitizer.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start it over. I want you guys to watch this.
That is dominating national headlines after the New York Times wrote about Matt Colvin stockpiling goods amid the coronavirus outbreak. Channel 3's Hunter Hoagland talked to Matt, who bought nearly 18,000 bottles of hand sanitizer, while many are still searching to find even one. For Matt Colvin, a pandemic meant an opportunity.
For Matt Colvin, a pandemic meant an opportunity.
It went to 0 to 60 really fast.
After the first COVID-19 death in the United States, Colvin went state to state clearing out sanitizer shelves. He now sits with 18,000 unused bottles in his home and storage unit, while people in the Tennessee Valley struggle to find one.
The bulk of it was purchased with just driving around to retail stores in the Chattanooga area.
Colvin bought the sanitizer with the intention of selling them for profit on Amazon before they took his listings down. Now, feeling the same panic as many others.
Oh, crap is the PG way to say it.
Though he would not discuss on camera the exact prices he sold the sanitizer for, he told the New York Times in a recent interview that some items were listed at $70 a bottle.
The pricing on Amazon was definitely higher than retail.
Stating in a shirt that says "Family Man, Family Business," he says he never anticipated the struggle other families would go through because of a shortage. Would you say you're sorry?
Sorry for purchasing, sorry for buying all of this. No, I don't think that I would.
After receiving backlash online, Colvin says he's making plans to donate the rest of the sanitizer.
With business, there's wins and there's losses, and this is a situation where cutting my losses is the right thing to do.
Well, Tennessee price gouging laws make it unlawful for individuals to charge unreasonable prices for essential goods. It's not clear if hand sanitizer is considered one of those items.
Okay, so you guys just saw that video. And did you see how long he paused when they asked him, do you regret doing this? Like, for a second, I thought my phone had went out. I had to turn up the volume. Like, what the hell? He just sat there, you know, just, no, I don't regret it. Like, what an asshole. He's a narcissist. He is the classic definition of a narcissist, okay? He was literally trying to think in his head how he could, like, show some type of emotion or empathy, and then basically said, fuck it. I just don't feel bad. You know, he's looking at this like I was just trying to make a buck. But I could see if he did all that, and let's say he was selling those hand sanitizers for like even $1 more. Even then, yeah, it's messed up, but I could, okay, whatever, $1 more. This man was literally selling bottles of hand sanitizers for upwards of $70, and people were buying it because they were desperate. You know, they want to stay safe. They don't want to catch the virus. So he should be jailed for that. He should be embarrassed. And the fact that he's on the news doing interviews, it just shows that he has no shame. None at all. I'd be embarrassed. I would, let alone allow the news to be in my garage with a damn stockpile of hand sanitizer. He went through, like, I think they said he went to 2 different states, went to a multitude of stores, had a U-Haul. Him and his brother plotted all this out. Like, that is sickening. I don't get people. I really don't. Let's see here. We have some super chats. Okay, Kitty Kawhi says H&M refused to close their offices in downtown Chicago. We have to use our vacation hours in order to call off. That's a shame. It's a lot of... There's somebody else that told me they're in San Francisco and their company refuses to shut down. So at first I thought, well, maybe she's in the medical profession. She does tech. And I think for people to have anybody in tech in the building and working, I think that's selfish, because with tech, 9 times out of 10, you can work from home. So I don't know why some of these companies are risking it. Just like with my son's job, I'm surprised he's still working and they're giving him even more hours. So that has me very nervous, because I'm like, people are steadily coming up to him and asking for items and all this stuff. And I'm just like, just please, when you come home, make sure you wash your hands and you hand sanitize, spray Lysol, all that shit. Don't get me sick. Same thing with call centers. And a lot of call centers, they can do those jobs from home. It makes no sense. Walmart and McDonald's refuse to pay for time off. I can believe that. So let me go ahead and play you guys this other video here. Now, this is the one about San Francisco shutting down and other things going on around the country. So let's go ahead and check this one out here.
Crisis we all face. Tonight, officials in the San Francisco Bay Area are imposing the most extreme anti-coronavirus measures we've seen in this country. It's a shelter-in-place order. 7 million people told to stay at home and away from others for the next 3 weeks. It comes as the federal government called on all of us to limit gatherings to 10 people. Bars and restaurants ordered close in many places. And another eye-watering plunge on Wall Street today. There is so much to get to with our team. Miguel Almaguer starts us off.
Tonight, the San Francisco Bay Area, just hours away from the unprecedented order. 7 million people told to go home and stay home for 3 weeks, starting at midnight. The move aimed at bringing bustling city streets to a virtual standstill and closing nearly all businesses, the most dramatic and drastic step in the country.
These measures will be disruptive to day-to-day life, but there is no need to panic.
While the president said a nationwide quarantine is not under consideration for now, he did urge Americans to stay away from groups larger than 10 people.
No matter where you look, this is something, it's an invisible enemy.
The president predicting the virus could spread through summer. At subways, city stations, and iconic venues, more are keeping their distance. The White House with this new warning.
The reason we're taking these strong and bold steps is because we know there is virus spread before you develop symptoms.
As a growing number of cities, including New York and LA, ban restaurants and bars from seating customers, delivery service and drive-thrus are becoming the only options. Theaters, gyms, and a long list of several major retailers are shuttered, while brands like Starbucks are only open for pickups.
A burger, a veggie melt, and an ice cream sandwich? Yep.
One fine dining restaurant in Seattle now delivering burgers.
This is about feeding a city that is hungry.
With fear driving some to hoard food, many grocery stores are operating on modified hours, allowing older shoppers in at earlier times. But in California, the governor says anyone 65 or older should self-isolate at home. For thousands, getting home was the problem. At O'Hare International, massive crowds trickled through enhanced screenings for the coronavirus.
I definitely felt unsafe. If the government's telling me to stay in groups of less than 50 and keep social distancing, that was the opposite.
As school districts in cities big and small close down, a dozen hotels and casinos on the Las Vegas Strip are set to go dark, as a symbol of America is now closed on Liberty Island. Lisa Merck, a nurse in Colorado, is recovering from the virus.
I started getting really sweaty, and then I felt like I kind of wanted to collapse. And I remember like having this almost this burning sensation, you know, when you take a deep breath.
Tonight, Americans in uncharted territory, changing the way we gather and the cities we live in.
Okay, so you guys just watched that video. So, you know, it's sad. You know, everybody's like, God bless America, God bless everyone. You know, I had watched a documentary this weekend because, you know, they're rolling out all the pandemic, all the contamination documentaries, you know, just everything's being rolled out by CNN. So there was a documentary. I don't know if you guys watched it. If you did, you guys can comment in the chat. But basically, back when the Ebola outbreak was happening back in 2014, CNN was there to document it. And so the documentary came out in 2017. It was really good. And so there was a young doctor there. He was from Liberia. And he was basically saving lives. Did you guys see that this weekend on CNN? And he went through a lot, you know, just trying to save lives. And he said there was really no rhyme or reason why some people could catch Ebola and they would survive. Like they'd be super sick, but somehow they'd survive. And then somehow who wasn't as sick would die. And he talked about how one of his colleagues, they were treating an Ebola patient. They had on their, you know, their whole body suit, the mask and everything. He said the doctor went home and called him in the morning and said, no, he called him in the middle of the night. He said, I don't feel good. I'm getting chills. You know, I don't really feel too good. So he said, well, we'll send an ambulance for you to come get you right now. They sent an ambulance for him. And he said within a matter of hours, that doctor died. So, I mean, it's real. Like, you know, our medical people, okay, so you guys watched that too. Wasn't that sad? Like, I was like in tears. Like, that was like so sad. And so one of the things he said was that just really struck a chord with me is that he said one thing that happened with Ebola hitting Liberia is that it changes how they deal with each other as a people, right? Basically meaning, now for all my Africans, you guys can attest to this. So growing up, like, you know, how when we eat fufu and stuff, we all share the same bowl. So like when you know, if you're eating with your parents or your relative, it's one big bowl of fufu. Then you have the soup in there. Everybody washes their hands, but we all share from the same plate. We all eat together. You know what I'm saying? Like that was just part of, that's just what we do. Like even when me and my sons eat fufu, we all eat together. We eat out the same bowl. Like nobody ever thought about viruses and corona. Like that's just part of like, you know, it's like eating dinner together as a family. Like that's just the norm. So he said what was so sad is that because of that, that's just changed like just society. You know, there in Liberia, like people don't want to eat together. They don't want to, you know, eat from the same bowls, drink from the same cups, whereas you would have never thought anything of it because that's just the culture there. That's how we were raised, you know, things like that. Grace Boyce says, I love my fufu. We eat together all the time. Yes, people from West Africa, y'all understand what I'm talking about. And so, you know, I got to thinking about that and I realized that Team Jollof Rice, Nigerian jollof rice, okay? That's the best. But I got to really thinking about that and I was like, I never looked at it that way. That when things like this happen, it changes people's mentality and it changes the fabric of society. Think about this. We keep hearing the word social distancing. Distance yourself socially. We are the same group of people here in America where we've talked about this in other live streams. We don't communicate how we used to communicate. Everybody's always in their phone. People don't even know how to make eye contact anymore. People don't know how to like keep up conversations. Everybody's so in their phones. So we're already distanced because of technology, right? So technology has already bridged a gap with a lot of people, men, women, young, old. I mean, these kids walk around like zombies. They're just, you know, connected and so stuck on Snapchat and TikTok. So that's already distanced us. So now you add a pandemic on top of that, I don't think we will ever go back to what it was pre-coronavirus. I really don't. I think we're always going to have in the back of our mind suspicion. Even now, like I said, the whole cough shaming aspect. I'm literally scared to cough in public. The few times I've done it, I've gotten mean mugs. You know, like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with you? Even now, if I hear one of the kids cough, what you coughing for? Spray Lysol. You good? And it was so funny because one of my son's friends, they were all here this weekend, and I'm in the kitchen, and I hear him. He's like, man, I got to cough so bad, but I'm waiting till I go outside. I said, you make sure you do that. Go outside and cough. And, you know, we all started laughing, but it's like that now. He's scared to cough in my house, whereas, you know, 2 weeks ago, he'd cough and do whatever in the house. You know, so this is really going to change us as human beings and as people. I don't think that we're ever going to go back to the way of interacting with each other before this pandemic. Do you guys agree, or do you guys think I'm tripping? Do y'all understand where I'm coming from? Because we already have the whole, you know, distancing of ourselves with technology. Now with these viruses and pandemics, that's going to be even more of a reason for us to distance ourselves, unfortunately. I mean, right now I'm such a hugger. Like, I hug people without even thinking twice. Especially when I meet people, like subscribers and stuff, I'm always hugging people. Like, oh, thank you so much. Now I have to think twice, like, oh, I can't hug that person because I don't know. You know, this disease is so easily spread. I don't know if I can catch it from hugging somebody. You know, so it's really sad when you think about the psychological aspects that this is doing to us. Kiki Jasmine says, nope, it's not going to be the same. Yeah, it's really sad. Just like pre and post 9/11. Yeah. And this is worse because at least with 9/11, not saying that that wasn't bad. A lot of people lost their lives, but that was like a business thing. That was like people at work. You know, everybody was still able to just be in their home, be in their environment. Granted, a lot of stuff changed, like, you know, traveling, airports, stuff like that. But for the most part, everything was okay. We've never seen anything happen to this point where literally society is shutting down one city at a time. Literally where kids are, you know, they're out of school. We don't know when these kids will be back in school. Colleges are shutting down, restaurants. Like, this is unprecedented. In all my life, I've never seen anything like this happen. Not even during 9/11. Alma BS sent a W10,000. Is that Chinese money? I don't be knowing, honey. Oh, okay, South Korea. Okay, South Korea's in the house. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. She says, hey T, I'm from Daegu, South Korea. Writing in English is still difficult for me, but I want to say I love you. We will get through this safe. Keep safe, everyone. Thank you so much. And your English is good. So thank you. I always love when people like come and they write, you know, from other countries. They're like, oh, my English is not that good. Honey, y'all's English be better than mine sometimes. So don't even worry about it. But thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for coming through. And, you know, like I've always said on this channel, at the end of the day, this is all one big circle of life. And I will say again, I know it sounds cliche, and I possibly stole it from the Lion King, but I say that to say this. We are all one big circle of life, and what affects somebody in one part of the world, like I told you guys in that video about the locusts and the bats, will soon trickle to other parts of the world. So we have to take things seriously when it starts affecting somebody else. We can't look at it like, oh, well, that's China, or that's South Korea, or that's Africa, and I live here in America. That would never happen to us. Because you see now, fast forward 2 months later, we're in the same situation that Wuhan was in 2 months ago. So it can and it is happening to us. So thank you for that super chat. Desiree Nicole says, I never thought twice about a mosquito until the West Nile virus hit. It's the truth. We go through things in life and it ends up scarring us not only emotionally, but mentally. And now, you know, now you just think twice. So yeah, it's really sad. It's really sad the way everything's going. Yuma Kid says this is going to catapult us into the signs of the ends of times. All three major religions, let's talk about that. I agree. You know, and in the grand scheme of things, Christianity, Judaism, Islam, we're all facing the same thing because we're all humans, regardless of what your religion is, regardless if you believe in religion or you're atheist. All of this is affecting us the same way. You know, but it definitely looks like some end of times type stuff. I mean, come on now. We just literally had a locust attack in East Africa. I mean, that's a Bible. I mean, that was in the Bible during Moses' time. We have locusts where you're looking in the sky and the whole sky is black from locusts. Yeah, we're in some scary times. But thank you for the super chat. Taylor Holland says, I love you, T. I work at Nike. They gave us 2 weeks off paid, thankfully. My pregnant friend who works at Specs, they refused to let her leave. You know, and that's the sad part, is that there's so many, like, differences in jobs. Like, I don't understand, like you said, you work at Nike, they're giving you 2 weeks paid leave. She works at Specs, and they're like, we don't care that you're pregnant. You better be here at 8 a.m. I mean, it's really sad that there's so many differences in the jobs and the bosses. You have some customer service people, their bosses are like, cool, all y'all work from home because we care about our employees. Then you have other people like, I don't give a damn about the coronavirus. You better be here at work at 8 o'clock in the morning to answer these phones. You know, so it's going to have to be some type of government regulation that comes in and really figures this stuff out and gets people paid. Because a lot of these bosses, if you leave it up to them, they don't care. So yeah, you're very lucky that Nike's looking out for you like that, as is my sister-in-law. You know, she's getting to use her vacation and pay time off, and then they're going to help her, you know, file for unemployment. It's not going to be as much as what she's making, but at least it's something. I mean, right now you literally have families who, like, they have no idea what they're going to do. Like, if you live paycheck to paycheck and your job says you can't come in, we can't afford to give you overtime or vacation, you're just laid off. How do you pay your rent? How do you pay your bills? Even if your rent is subsidized for the next few months where they're willing to pay it, how do you buy groceries, medication? You have no source of income coming in. So it's really scary. It's really scary when you think about it. It really is. And I can, you know, even though I don't, you know, work in the workforce anymore, I can still relate because for years I worked in the workforce. You know what I'm saying? I did IT, I did customer service. So I understand what it is to, like, you know, just be stressed. Because having an illness, there's been times I had to be out of work for months on FMLA, and FMLA only paying you 60%, and you have to be able to, you know, balance your money and your income and hope that you have enough to make rent. So I definitely understand people's fears, people's anxieties, especially when it comes to their jobs and their paychecks. Let's see here. B-Hat Life says, hi T, I'm a professional astrologer. I have been seeing this building in the astrology charts for over 2 years. There's more to develop, but it's all makes us better as a people. Sending you love and prayers. Thank you so much. Thank you. You know, it's a lot of stuff, you know, right now going on, you know, and one thing I just want to tell people is, like, don't get yourself too drained. Because I know a lot of people like imagining the worst. Like, if this happens and martial law comes in, are people going to break into their homes? Like, all you can do is just try and relax and not let the visions drive you crazy. Because it's so easy to imagine the worst of the situation as opposed to just living in the day-to-day. So thank you for coming through. Jacob Revel says, how lethal do you think coronavirus is compared to other epidemics that we faced? I think what makes, thank you so much for the super chat, Jacob. I think what makes coronavirus, I'm not going to say more lethal, but very dangerous, is the way it spread. Because it spreads so easily and you don't have to show any symptoms to have it in your body. I think that's the part that's really, really scary. Because at least with Ebola, when you catch Ebola, you're going to get those symptoms literally like within, I want to say within 2 days. you're going to start feeling horrible because your blood vessels and, like your blood cells, your red blood cells and everything, they're bursting. So you're going to start feeling sick right away with Ebola. That's why Ebola has such a high death rate and such a high death turnover. But with this, you can still feel fine for, upwards of 14 days to a month and be positive and not know it. And meanwhile, it's highly contagious. So while I won't say it's as bad as catching Ebola, but the way it's spread, it's just as bad. Because before Corona, Ebola was like the most like deadliest, spreadable, I guess you could say, disease out there. Because with Ebola, you could literally like somebody could touch you, or if their body fluids got on you, spit, saliva, urine, things like that. And you got to realize when people are dying from Ebola, they're bleeding from every orifice of their body. It's like one of the worst diseases. I studied it back in high school. And you're bleeding from your eyes, your nose, your mouth, everywhere. Think of every hole in your body, ears. It's like the worst disease. So it's very easy to come in contact with that stuff. That's how it spreads. Because, these are your loved ones. That's your father. That's your mother. You want to touch them and, wipe the blood off their face and, relieve them and comfort them. But in doing that, those pathogens are getting onto you. So that's how you have whole families who literally will die of Ebola. So while this is not as bad, I would say, as Ebola, but what makes me more nervous with this, even though the death rate in China was high and the death rate in Italy is just skyrocketing and it's scary, what scares me more with this is how it's spread. Because again, it's very easy to catch. So the main thing then you have to worry about is if you catch it, will you be able to fight it? And that's my biggest concern. Because as somebody who has a compromised immune system, I can't answer that for certain. I don't know. Because I know how much the common cold takes out of me. So I don't know. So that's the part that's scary for me personally. But thank you. That was a really good question. I feel like a science teacher or something. Let's see here. Devin, what's up, Devin? Thank you for coming through. Devin says, I'm relatively calm at this point. No use in freaking out and being emotionally drained every day. I just gotta flow and adapt with the circumstances. I definitely feel you on that. I feel you on that. It makes no sense to do that. And Uda Kaka says, Ebola is bloodborne, not airborne. Yeah. And that's the part that's so scary when you compare the viruses, because with Ebola, like, you literally have to like touch that stuff. Whereas with this, it seems like just speaking to somebody, you can get corona. And that's the part that's scary. Look at the little boy. Well, they're trying to say that he got corona from that Utah Jazz player, Rudy Gobert. They're saying that the little boy caught it from him. But then I'm also reading that the little boy just came off of a cruise ship. So who's to say that the little boy didn't affect, he could have affected Rudy. And all Rudy did was sign his autograph. And now the little boy has tested positive for corona. So, I mean, it's really scary the way that it's spreading. "200 nurses in Connecticut are on paid leave because they have been exposed to the virus, but there's no test to confirm it." Wow. I'm not panicking. I'm just being logical. Makes sense. It makes sense. My mom wants me to stay home and quit. I'm taking care of my 3-year-old nephew, and she doesn't want me to get sick. I don't know how to pronounce your name. It looks Russian. 3 Shining. Thank you, T, for being one of the only influencers to tell us the facts. You are more than welcome. Thank you so much for coming through. Malachi says, hey, T, how old was the little boy who tested positive? I'm not sure. I want to say he was between the ages of 7 and 9. If you guys could check on that. But, like, he wasn't a teenager. The virus, let's see here. Oh, we got a super chat. Mr. Harvard says, and again, stop calling it the Chinese virus. This disease could have came from any other country like Spain, Germany, or Russia. But the better question, Mr. Harvard, is why are you so pressed? Did you send a super chat and get in your feelings when people called it the African swine flu? What about when people equate Ebola to only African people when anybody can get Ebola? So I think, there's nothing wrong with calling it the Wuhan virus because that's where it came from. Just like the German measles, you know what I'm saying? Just like the Spanish flu. I don't find anything wrong with that. I don't think that that's spreading any type of anything because again, when it comes to diseases that affect the black population, they have no problem tying Africa to it. Just my opinion, but thank you for the super chat. Let's see here. Yeah, it came from China. That's the thing. Like, that's not racist. That's literally where it came from. That's where it started. So that's just what it is. T, I think I was blocked on Instagram for liking a comment. How do I get unblocked? What comment did you like? Look, Shay says yes and HIV as well. Olu says, tell him, sis. Yeah, I mean, it's the truth. I mean, that's the thing I don't like. I don't like this hypocrisy that now that it's China, nobody's allowed to blame China. Oh, the Trump is xenophobic for saying that, came from Wuhan. Like, how is that xenophobia when you're stating facts? No one cries when they say Ebola originated in the Congo. That's just facts. No one cries when they attribute Ebola to African people. Most, when there's an outbreak of Ebola, it usually takes place in Africa. Matter of fact, for those who watched the documentary on CNN, look how quick they banned travel from Africa during the Ebola crisis. They banned travel like this. They found out Ebola was brewing in Liberia. Within 24 hours, they wouldn't allow anybody from Africa to travel to America. So if we want to talk about it, let's keep it real. Go and watch that CNN documentary. They shut down all travel coming from Africa. Meanwhile, because again, everybody wants to kiss the CCP, their booty, and, tiptoe and make the Chinese in China feel comfortable, they're scared to call it what it is. Had they taken the same measures they did with Ebola, guess what? We wouldn't be dealing with a pandemic in America. And that's 100. See, y'all not ready for that conversation. They shut that shit down when Ebola started ravaging Liberia. It was a wrap. They didn't say no Liberians could come. They said Africa. Yumi Kid sends $4.99. He says, I just got a job at AT&T. We are getting 2 weeks paid leave, but do you think the recession that will be caused by this is going to affect my job? Possibly. The most I can say is, really try and save up your money, what they're giving you, with the paid leave, try and save that as much as you can, ration it. But yeah, it's going to affect a lot of people's jobs, but you're lucky that you're getting paid time leave. That's a blessing. Anime Vibe says, thank you, T, for correcting him. A lot of us are calling it the karma virus because everywhere affected heavily has contributed to colonization. Oh, Lord. Yeah, I don't want to get into calling viruses karma because, regardless if anybody, was a colonizer or not, there's also innocent people, who have died from this disease. Children, babies and stuff like that. So I don't want to start dictating what is somebody's karma, what is one nation's karma versus another, but I will state the facts. And the facts are the way they handle Ebola and diseases coming from Africa are a lot different than the way they handled this coronavirus. Just sit and watch, pimp. Okay, I like that name. He says UK RPM said we should build a herd immunity. 60% have the virus, but that don't work unless there's a vaccine. They want us to die because they ain't closing jobs and allowing flights in. I'm a chemist and we don't know what we doing. I'm glad I was able to read that. I heard that in the UK, they're laxing. That's one thing I've been hearing from a lot of my UK subscribers. The UK is so lax right now. I don't know if they're not taking it seriously, if they just don't know what to do. But yeah, they're still allowing flights in and out. They're not really enforcing anything. They haven't shut anything down, which to me is really crazy because you're in Europe and you're right next to Italy. Y'all are closer to Italy than we are. So for the UK to not be taking it as serious, I don't understand why. But I've been hearing that a lot. Somebody said he must be. Y'all don't think he's a chemist? Oh, y'all are shady. Y'all are shady, honey. Somebody said, what the fuck did T just read? He ain't no damn chemist. They're coming for your job, bruh. Y'all are shady in the comment section. Somebody said he's a street chemist. I'm not fooling with y'all. Y'all are wilding out in this chat. Oh my gosh, y'all are wild. They do not believe that that is his occupation. Because you know on the internet, honey, you can be anybody you want to be. Honey, I done met all types of, I'm this and I'm that. And then you start questioning, they don't even know what the hell you talking about. Like, really? That ain't your profession. Just, it's okay to be yourself. It's okay to be yourself. Look, Devin said I got a headache reading that message. I can't find my name. Says, hey T, did you hear about Philip DeFranco's wife catching the virus? She made a post about it on Twitter. I didn't hear about that. I met her a long time ago. She's pretty nice. Her and Phil, they're cool. I didn't hear about that. That sucks. And they got little babies. Ooh wee. I hope she gets better. That's scary. Look, Picture Cicely says, it's okay to be the fry cook at Roscoe's. We ain't judging. Exactly. I'm just drinking plain water. I'm trying to keep myself hydrated as much as possible. So right now I'm just drinking plain water. My throat is dry, so I'm just trying to sip. Phil talked about it in his last video. Wow. So does he have it? That's a fair question, right? No shade. Dang, that's sad. I didn't know about that at all. I haven't watched his videos in like a few days. I had to catch up. I've been so busy just trying to keep people updated on the corona. So I haven't watched his videos. But that sucks. And that has to be hard, when you're married, because it's like when you're married, you kind of share everything. You share, commutable spaces and, I don't know. That's sad. How did she catch it? And then she got it, he didn't? Where was she at? Was she at work? I need more tea. I need the tea on that one. Do you think Trump is lying about his test results being negative? I don't think he's lying. I know a lot of y'all were wishing it was positive, but I don't think he's lying. Trump is just, I don't know, he's funny. He just cracks me up. Did y'all see when he snapped on that black woman? She asked him about why did he shut down the pandemic department in the White House. And he's like, that was such a nasty question. I'm not the only one. There were 7 other people in charge of that. He took no personal responsibility. I mean, he's a trip. He is just, it's just funny just to watch him just talk. It's like he's so self-assured. He bumbles everything, just like he bumbled the whole flight situation where he claimed that none of these people could fly in and out from, from Europe, only to have to backtrack and say that he would allow U.S. citizens to come in with proper testing. Honey, I'm so over him. I really am. Y'all seen when he said the kidney was near the heart? No, I didn't see that at all. Yoga Bright says, hi, thank you for being understanding. Love the true tea. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So you guys, it's getting late. I've been on for 1 hour and 40 minutes. I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. We got a lot of people that came through tonight. Lots of really good conversation in the chat. Lots of really good dialogue. So I'm going to go ahead and get ready to log off here. I will try and do some more videos this week and podcast. Any updates, they'll be on my Instagram. I think I posted enough stuff today about the corona, honey. I'm like, just so, as far as YouTube is concerned, I'm just like, oh. But I will be posting some stuff on Instagram. I'll keep you guys posted. Please keep me posted with any information, anything that you guys learn in your cities. Definitely let me know so I can check it out. And to the people who are constantly like, T, check your DMs. For the most part, I will check the DMs. But if it's something I'm not interested in, I'm not going to reply back. That's just how it goes. Like, I literally had somebody write that like 50 times. T, check your DM. T, check your DM. And I checked the DM and it was just, I wasn't interested in the story. Like, just because I check your DM does not mean I'm going to converse with you. It has to be something that piques my interest, and I'm big on my energy. I don't want any and everybody in my DM. So I will look and I'll take a peek. Okay. And then I'm out. But now if it's something that interests me, then, I'll accept you and, I'll converse with you. But it has to interest me. You know what I'm saying? So on that note, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and get ready to log off, honey. I'm so tired. I'm about to give me some sleep. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. You guys have a good night. I know a lot of you guys are out of work. So I've noticed, too, a lot of people are watching a lot of YouTube videos. I'm seeing, like, the damn videos of, Christmas past. I'm seeing videos I forgot I made that are now in my analytics because people are watching them. So it seems like more people are home and they're just going through my video collection because a lot of old videos are starting to get a lot of hits again. Videos that I made like 2-3 years ago. So I'm sure a lot of people are home and they're bored. They have nothing else better to do. So have fun. Watch my videos. Watch other people's videos. Just for the most part, stay safe. The safest place you can be is in your home. Only go out if you really need to, if it's really necessary, like getting medications and food and stuff like that. And if you have not gotten food thus far because, like my homeboy, you just, you're used to eating out, please, I don't care if it's oodles and noodles, go and get some food because I feel like within the next week, stuff is going to really shut down where you cannot be out and about, period. That's what's going on right now in Italy. People have been in their apartments going stir crazy for the past 2 to 3 weeks. And I feel like that might be happening here. So if you have not prepared, if you don't have any food, please go grocery shopping. Please, rack up. Don't hoard. You don't need 50 boxes of pizza. Think of your neighbors. Think of, your community. But, get enough to at least last you a good 2 to 3 weeks. So just some tips. Oh, okay, we got one last super chat before I leave. Betty Cakes, thank you for the $5 super chat. It's very much appreciated. On that note, you guys, I'm out. You guys have a good night. I will talk to you guys later. Be safe. Peace.